arguably most famed champion of his career, even though the Bard is more recently the new hot for him, is going to be the Thresh they take. And this is a classic, right? The Jinx counter to the Aphelios. We haven't seen it very often because she has been so not meta, not strong, but with the changes to crit, she's incredibly strong on this patch, and players have shied away from her, but FaZe is going to pick it up here in Game 1. Like, this is usually something you see in Game 3, Game 4, not Game 1 of a Fearless draft. And this is what we saw when I first came into the LCK, when Aphelios was incredibly meta, often even B1'd in some of those drafts. It was like Aphelios Jinx every game. This is pre-Fearless. Yep. We saw it all the time. With the Jinx Thresh, Aphelios Lulu, the classic battle. We have not seen it as a staple here in a really long time, but the Jinx is usually considered to be the counter because it has the extra range, and that range advantage, especially in the laning phase, is going to feel great. However, with the Lulu on the other side, you have a ranged support who can harass and offer some additional damage. The Pantheon is really, I think, the X factor here in this draft for BNK because it will have a lot of rotational power. They don't have a strong side lane champion to play through, though, because they're playing through the Rumble, so it's a little bit more about the setup.
Legends on the brain. And speaking of which, let's get more of an India brain as we get onto the Rift for game number 1, BNK FEARX against T1.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
I was really expecting one of the T1 fans to randomly screech as well, as I'm going to have to hold that thought, as Vikler is dying. Faker really wanted to get a bit of extra damage. Raptor nowhere near. Diablo, I think, has a bit of an idea as to what's going on here, but already Ona comes through, and they get the flash through. That is so beautiful from Carrier. Sets it up with the flash prediction, and down goes Diablo. Not enough summoner spells for this bottom laner.
I kind of hate the call in terms of items here for Diablo. Feeling very nice for the Jinx.
Well, there's the flash. Let's see whether Vikler can get that shockwave down. Hits that level 6. And Emperor's Divide is going to be used preemptively here to make sure that he can't get over. Shockwave goes completely wide, though, as Faker's just walking it off.
Vikler's
shifts
face.
the sands, and he's just fine.
Faker's just like, no. Good try, buddy. Vikler's face.
And now this bottom lane is just up a creek that they don't like without a paddle. However, that is going to be the first kill going over to BNK. Now Raptor is going to find Faker trying to make his way back, and there is the orb once again. Faker shifts the sands once more, and the spear does go wide. And so a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, actually better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And Vikler now is able to farm behind this turret.
Kill goes over to the Lulu on the bottom side, so not as good as it could have his ultimate, but there's not really a great angle to employ it for him, unfortunately. Could try to get into the backline with a Wild Growth setup if we could see Kellen close that gap. He also has level 6. They're going to try for something.
Yeah, Kellen moving over here. I don't know about this one, as Wild Growth is available. Lantern can be taken here as the Flame Chompers go down, as Vikler possibly a target here for Faker. No flash. Shockwave comes in onto 3 as the hook is going to connect. Vikler is definitely dead, but can they keep fighting? The answer is no, as Ona just dashes forward still. Diablo finding the damage. Moonlight Vigil to take down the Xin Zhao, and now Carrier is looking for him. Red White Guns come in, but he doesn't find the hook, and Diablo's able to run amok in the fight. Faker able to take the Lantern out, and so T1 will get away. It's looking like we've got a bit of a game on our
Yeah, I like
game number 1. And I do really like the BNK composition. We were talking before about how they've had a lot of synergy success as Hook is going to come down. Diablo just walks into it. Pace has to flash. Diablo cannot follow, but Carrier is definitely dead. As, yeah, Raptor has it charged up. Hayes in a bit of trouble. The flash from Kellen! Help Pix to take the kill.
All right, send him in
to help out. Let's have a look at this one more time.
It's like, I mean, he's on a ward, but we're still going.
Oh dear, Hayes has just made his way back and has now lost half his health already, and now he's dead. Diablo is given a kill! There we go. BNK now moved to 6-3, 2.5k gold advantage.
There may be a bit of a bell curve in terms of us having a game and then not having a game that may be occurring. We may be close to not having a game again, Atlas, just in the other direction.
Oh no, that's true. We need to stay in the sweet spot. Stay in the, okay, T1 makes something happen here as Faker gets the flash down. The Ram comes through as well as Diablo's knocked up in the game. It's coming back. It's coming back. Well, Faker's going to be able to pick up that kill. Kellen is going down as well. And T1 move back towards the driver's seat. As Paze cannot catch a break, man. It's just he's trying to get to a minion wave. His carrier is likely dead. The box did come on through, but Raptor will have some more buttons available, and there it is. Now Ona's come on over, though, and no more flash here for Raptor as Teleport brings the Rumble to the bottom lane, and FaZe is going to come over and try and grab the kill, but it is Ona that picks that one up.
I do think in terms of the gold,
and especially when paired alongside these hyper carries that can really get stuff done in the late game.
I'm amazed to hold up FaZe.
That's Moonlight Vigil that comes down, grabbing him, comes on through there, and the Pantheon is going to come down, and yeah, there was no room for a Lantern.
Yeah, Diablo is starting to actually get the kills now, too. It's not just getting assists anymore. Yeah, that's just straight up not really much FaZe could have done there. Didn't have flash, got hit by the Moonlight Vigil with grabbing him set.
Yeah, and also
see you later.
It's a fed Lulu, so that he's got an Ardent Sensor built already.
Oh my god!
So Diablo may not have any items himself, but thankfully Kellen's built one for him. Yeah. So there you go. There's a little bit of extra something. This is going to be the first rate going over to B&K, and we have a Mountain Soul this week
here because FaZe can't play the game anymore, and Diablo has taken a significant lead if they're going to go for this. Vikla does have TP.
There could be a teleport angle here. We'll just have to see whether they do go for it. And it looks like the answer is going to be no. Clear is just dead. Ona tanks up the turret quite a lot, but he is absolutely fine as Diablo is behind this turret. And it's all about cross-map here for B&K. They're like, we do not care about you killing our top laner if we can take the mid lane outer turret as well as the top lane outer.
All plates going over.
Our junglers very powerful in this game.
They really are. I mean, everybody's kind of accelerated except FaZe right now.
Oh dear.
This is a crazy TP.
Yeah, let's see whether this one's going to work out as Clear makes his way in. Now Raptor gets on top. That's going to be the shockwave onto one as Ona trying to get himself out of there. There is Clear dying though to FaZe. FaZe actually getting some more money here as now Raptor could be taken down as well. A bridge too far perhaps, but now Diablo's able to get that damage through. Super Mega Death Rocket though to answer, and now Diablo's frontlining. I'm not sure about this one as he needs as many Gravitums as he can. The flash over was so sexy from Diablo. Finds the Moonlight Vigil and FaZe shuts him down. T1 will find the team fight in the end, but it looked pretty cool on B&K's side. We are back in game territory.
T1 are going to take this dragon. It's their second of the game, which will put them at just a simple one dragon lead here at 19 minutes. But that's a lot of map control taken away from B&K despite those early turrets that went down.
And also there is a lot of standing gold. And it could mean that a lot of these structures are just going to go down and that gold lead could balloon. As now Doran's possibly in trouble. He's looking to try and turn this into a bit of an engage though. Finds the flash forward shockwave just to try and keep Diablo alive. It gets the autos down. Faker is taken out, but they are able to answer with the whole bottom lane being destroyed. Raptor with the Aegis not able to get it done, and FaZe, yeah, he's excited now, able to take down his arch nemesis in Raptor on the Pantheon, and 3 already dead in trade for Faker. Clear going to follow. Hook, of course, is going to connect, and the Flame Spitter not doing enough, and another kill over to the Jinx.
And was it late?
I mean, it's 22 minutes into the game. We're getting towards said late game, and with Doran at level 14, he's going to start doling out even more his pace. Oh dear, he was on the map again. That's problematic.
Yeah, he was almost near his inner. They're just going to start the Baron.
Yeah.
Owner does have flash.
I mean, there's a lot of damage onto this as well. As B&K trying to get rid of the vision. T1 not wanting to give this one up as now Owner going to get engaged on here by Clear. He's the one that needs to be there for the smite, so if Clear can actually get him out of here, that could be a big deal as the hook is going to connect, and Carrier's going to look to try and take down Clear, but now Faker's in trouble. Polymorphed, and Diablo will be able to find the kill before anything's really happened. Clear is going to get traded, and now the Baron is down exceptionally low. Owner still has a health bar, though, and he gets into the pit. It is going to be secured by Raptor, but down goes the Aphelios, and now Vikla is trying to kill Carrier. He might be able to do so as the hook doesn't land, and Raptor is able to get himself out of there. B&K somehow find the team fight. I say somehow, I mean, T1 had to fight without their Jinx, but still, I mean, that was a mess until it was fine.
I kind of feel like that was one of the cleanest Barons I've seen from two teams in, like, ever. But, I mean, T1 didn't have a Jinx, right? And the setup was terrible. It's still not going to have a Jinx.
Just going to look to kill Vikla here, and Vikla says, I will instead take that.
Yeah, so they didn't have a Jinx. They won't have one anymore.
50 in the end. It's B&K are going to even out the Drakes. Oh, goodness. There is so much game.
You're game maxing.
We are definitely game maxing. This is the most game I have seen all season long, as the Equalizer is not maximizing the amount of game. It was just hanging out. As now Diablo wants to take down the Sun Disc, as Doran is going to get a nice knock up there on to the Aphelios, but his damage is actually quite ridiculous now with 3 items complete. The Ram comes on through just to take down Clear, as now Ona looking for the angle. Diablo still wanting to fight this, and B&K realizing direction. None of it really all that meaningful, and with all the ornaments, it is a little bit dangerous. As oh dear, Faker's in a side lane. I'm saying oh dear for B&K, because we've seen fights like this break out, and T1 don't seem too worried about it. Teleport is going to come on through, though, as Diablo is going to get missed because he does have his trusty minion in the way. Manages to take down the inner turret. Nicely cross-mapped. Like, again, this is what B&K have been so good at this game, and that is keeping T1 honest with their plays. As Doran going to look for a knock-up here, but doesn't quite have enough direction. There's the shockwave, though, as Vikla picks it up. Wild Growth to keep Raptor alive as well, but Pays is free-hitting. Diablo is frontline as he flashes on top of Pays. Gets the big shield and will go down, but he takes the Jinx with him. And B&K, I think, have enough damage left in the tank. Doran is finally going to burn down, and Carrier has to flash. 10 seconds until the Baron. And that was are really good, man!
Yeah, they actually really are. And that was Diablo basically just saying, damn it, I said hit the damage dealers! They're all shooting Orin, and
but that one was perfect and made sure that he went 1 for 1.
T1
is still going to be able to get 4 items on the Aphelios. Diablo is very scary, but now the Ram comes on through. They get the knock-up, and he gets Wild Growth. Let's see whether Diablo can stay alive in this one. I think he might just be able to. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't quite work, and Raptor stands in front of the hook. Ona looks for the angle as Diablo gets so much health back, and Pays is going to melt as the Flame Splitter comes down. Clear sacrifices himself for his god, and his god is Diablo in this game.
Yeah, well, with a 45, 1.5 kills per minute game here, this was a lot of game. This is the kind of game where when the Nexus explodes, you do truly say, GG.
Yeah, we might need to do that. Let's try and do the StarCraft thing. Sorry, the Korean caster thing is this Nexus goes down, because it absolutely deserves it. And B&K, what incredible play around the advantages that they found for themselves. They made this game their own, and there it is, GG! Atlas, what a game!
I am a secondary scaling threat. He dies instantly both times. He has lower damage than Doran because in both critical fights on the top.
So that will be the jungle Ambessa, and Poppy will
pretty
be
good
the
Poppy
lock.
angle. Like you can, when you go for Poppy support, it's so scary unless you have all the information, right? And when you have second pick, you get to pull that card out. And Edo locks it in here, but he's saying, like, okay, this is great into Silas, it's great into Ambessa, it's obviously pretty good into Rek'Sai as well, depending on how you play it. And for zone control on objectives, if you can knock even just 1 or 2 of those threats away, your Sivir can do great work, and they have the engage as well to back it up. I think T1 have a draft that, with nameplates on, you're like, oh god, that's horrifying. Like, they got Varus on patch 26.3, like, that doesn't seem allowed, that can't be okay, but I think the tools that
when they get their hands onto picks like this. So let's get into the rift here for game number 2. I really do appreciate that one B&K fan that screeches every time. You know, they're just trying to even it out, because we know the T1 fans are just pretty loud here in LoL Park today.
In game 1, it was so much louder than it was this time that it made me make sure everything was.
Yeah,
B&K's early game, pretty insane.
Well, there's a great knock-up as the flash charm comes through. Ona is lit on fire, and that is first blood going over to the Jarvan. Vikla avoids the chains as Faker has stolen the ulti and will find the follow-up kill. Now Carrier moving over, but is unable to get the headbutt over the wall. That you can get out of the Steadfast Presence, and with the fact that creating space with the Keeper's Verdict is going to be so incredibly important. Ona is making his way in. Public Execution goes wide, though, but the chains do connect. Good charm from Vikla, but I don't know whether he's out of dodge just yet, as he is going to get taken down. There is the Cataclysm, though, as now Ona stuck inside the circle. Teleports coming in, but they're turtle ports. And oh my goodness, the takedown from this Poppy as he just heroically charges Ambessa to the Nether Realm. Try and challenge for this dragon. Kellen moving over. Does have the Keeper's Verdict available. Let's see whether he can use it to guarantee some position, but there's the flash pulverize. He does get the ulti off, but it's only onto Carrier, and he just dies. As a result, still Raptor's able to take the dragon. That could be important. Flags and drags, gets himself out. Poppy for Drake. I guess you'd possibly take that.
Yeah, it really depends on what soul we get.
Flash,
which was a big concern for looking for that contest on the Dragon itself. Is Faker.
There's a big old Cataclysm. Manages to get the ulti out of Vikla here, as we do have the teleport upgrading, but we don't see the charm. Still, the Cataclysm comes in, and Raptor's there to bail out it.
To just farm it out and ignore team fights. This game is a lot less bloody than the last one, but still a lot of action.
There's another Dominus as Raptor's going in, but so is Carrier over the other side. But trading places not quite working out. Public execution onto the job, and as the Cataclysm comes down, he tries to get out, but he fails. And it's Owner that takes down his opposition. Kellen's flashing. They know that they have to get out of there, and Diablo has to flash as well, as now Faker has discovered the Poppy. And I don't know whether Kellen is going to be escaping this one. The charm is going to get avoided, and Kellen should be going down. It takes a bit of Kellen to take down a Poppy, but Faker is going to get him in the end. As Clear might just take this turret and got a solo kill onto Doran, I believe, in the top lane while that was all happening.
Yeah, finally got the kill he's been looking for all game. Finally this time the margins were there. He does not have boots, by the way, still. The balanced team, that is. As a TP is going to come through here for Faker. And we're grouped around the bottom side. There's no Dragon for 3 minutes. We're fighting anyways.
Yeah, Roy Charge comes in. Carrier does have the ulti as Chains of Corruption does connect. And now Raptor well in amongst it. Public execution not quite going to work out, but even through the Unbreakable Will, it is going to be the cow going down. Great steadfast presence there, but Kellen, I think, is still going to get taken out as Faker is just way too big in this game. Took a lot to take down the Poppy, though, and there is the shutdown onto Diablo as Faker is going to fall finally. And now you've got Raptor riding this Rift Herald into all the crystalline overgrowth in the mid lane. That is going to be BNK taking out this outer turret in mid.
The second turret of the game.
More money.
Yeah. This is a really strong position here right now for BNK.
Diablo.
And like, I don't know where he's going to send for this Siverkoff that they don't even necessarily need. It's pretty huge, but they are not set up to contest, and there's no TP for Vikla.
All right, now they're going to try and turn onto Raptor. There's the flash knock-up as Keeper's Verdict just gets rid of two of them and keeps Raptor alive. Still, the Drake is going to get rushed down, and T1 will hit Double Dragon before...
About what the rest of these fights could look like, because it was a bit haphazard, but however...
All right, there's a knock-up onto Owner. As Chain's going to miss, Vikla now looking for a way to get in. Great Charm is going to connect, but the public execution is going to mitigate it completely, and down goes Raptor. Vikla should be following here as the auto is in the air from Pays, and they just wipe out Baron. The Fox Lady. That should be Baron, and oh dear. Oh, yeah. The game was there, it was on the hands, and now it's until much later in this game, if we even get there. As T1 look to take down their first turret of the Baron.
Turn that into a turret take here in mid, which is arguably the most important turret right now that T1 haven't gotten.
Well, there is Dominuses happening all over the place here as Faker is fighting against Clear. Doesn't quite find the Chain Lash, but Cull the Meek not exactly doing exactly what it wants. As Faker gets flashed on here, Clear looks for the angle, and he gets sliced and diced!
The only way
Clear cleans him up!
The only way Clear wins, Diablo has to be very careful about how he's positioned. It's going to take a long time to cut through that front line.
Yeah. All right, let's see whether BNK can find themselves a team fight, though. That's going to be the question, as Vikla has to throw down the ulti. Doran a little bit frustrating here on the sidelines, but does have his ultimate on cooldown as well. Maybe isn't going to be quite as dangerous in team fights. Still, this is going to be sole point for T1 if they're able to lock down this Dragon. And they do pull it out, and I don't see too much of a contest here out of BNK. Let's see whether Raptor can go for a bit of a steal, as Keeper's Verdict just gets cancelled immediately.
Yeah, they just want to knock on our way to steal one. That doesn't work. They just back off. They were just hoping for Keeper's Verdict into a little flag and drag action. Maybe they can get the punish.
Yeah. As Chains of Corruption connects onto Kellen, he just absorbs so much damage. And is now just not really going to be a factor here in this fight as Doran tries to save this turret. These minions just die so quickly. Faker in a side lane, though.
Yeah.
This is the problem. T1 can just sort of build the clock.
Faker also, I think... I'm not sure if he should stay here because there's company coming. His top laner has teleport.
Yeah, and we know that just the Crocodile is a dangerous one. Now there's a job in there as well. Teleport's coming in, Cataclysm goes down, and now with this teleport coming through, Doran does have a large shield, but I don't know whether he's going to have it for very long. And in fact, it just immediately evaporates. He now has to tunnel his way out. And with On the Hunt, there is a chance that BNK can even catch up to this Rek'Sai, although Raptor is going to find it with the flash. Doran now gets a little bit of a knock-up, though, and does have the ulti back off cooldown, and Clear is there with the Ruthless Predator, and down goes the Rek'Sai.
BNK out macroing T1.
Oh dear, and maybe it's not over, as Owner is going to discover clear and then just dashes away and the style.
Like, everything
for any public executions this time.
Look at Clear's positioning as well. He's also threatening on the flank.
Yep, and does have the Cloud Rift there as well to make sure that he's real speedy. As Dorian gets the knocker, as he has to slice to get out of the way, but there's the Keeper's Verdict now on cooldown. Gets rid of Doran here in this moment. Public execution comes down. Steric's not quite going to be enough. However, he does slice his way out even through the exhaust. But now going to have to be teleporting back into this fight, and the Dragon has already been started here by T1. Kellen looking for an angle. Vikla dives in, gets the charm onto Faker, and then gets himself out. Faker steals away his ultimate, though, as now Diablo having to flash, but he'll be taken out as Pace snipes him from the back line. He'll get rid of the Poppy as well, and now Faker's popping off, getting those resets, and finally Clear comes back in, but he's alone. T1's team fighting just too good in the end, and it's only Raptor that lives to tell the tale.
Vikla's Gambit. Pretty horrifying. Silas speedy. And with Cloud Soul, it's pretty insane. IE's done for Diablo. He's going to have to put it to good work here on this defense. Sivir can buy you so much space against Baron because her wave clear, as you can see on your screen and with your eyes right now, is pretty bonkers. But it's still not going to... Okay, hold up. Diablo, no.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see is Diablo. I don't think he's going to be able to spell shield that one as Raptor looks to try and put Faker into the Cataclysm, and it does not work. This is game over, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot have a Sivir step that far forward. As Clear says, yes, in this game I was very fed, but unfortunately if my whole team dies, I cannot do it alone. That's going to be the ace, and T1 just go from winning a team fight to game over in the click of your fingers.
Yep, that's all it takes. And poor Diablo, he cleared that wave really hard.
He did.
But he could not clear the champions.
No, and maybe he didn't need to clear the wave quite that hard.
It's crazy when you watch the collapse. Some missteps, I think, for BNK, frankly, around the Keeper's Verdict. Vikla trying to go in, looking for the Dragon Steal, meant that not only do they lose the Dragon.
Man, this is so much setup, CC. Holy moly.
That's pretty creative. I like it.
Yeah, and Yone's a lot of damage as well. So Yone Ash for the physical damage, as well as then you've got Maokai and Ryze doing a fair bit of magic. Does mean that the mid-jungle for BNK is a little bit suspect.
There is not one single pick that Keria wants to play in this game.
Well,
Janna,
he's going to have to play something. Rakan is the choice.
Feels good here. But Rakan feels good to follow up on Cyclone in the lane, that is to say. Like, nothing.
The problem is
in the lane.
then a Maokai in the game.
Yeah.
So then you just get twistedly advanced.
He is going to have to find some crazy angles, which also means that they're probably going to have map control, which means they're going to have vision, which means that this...
Oh, it's a top lane Ryze. I actually kind of love this.
Yeah.
I do feel like Vikla is going to have a very rough time, but this does mean that mid-jungle situation looks a whole lot better. And now this makes more sense to me.
Yeah, also because Vikla's going to be able to play the Yone into the Anivia, it's pretty easy for Yone to kind of avoid Anivia's harass and the wall and stuff like that.
Because it's a very cool draft. Whether it works is a completely different question. Let's get on to the Rift here for game number 3. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift for our third game of this series. As Owner is going to put down the hide on bush, and the hide on bush is unfortunately going to be taken out. All right. Meanwhile, Owner is going to discover Raptor here in his jungle. The bird is moving down though. And Arcane Smash, there's that extra 10 damage, baby.
There you go.
And
I think he's dead.
He's going to look for it. There's a twisted advance and the Arcane Smash! It's called Bramble Smash now, ladies and gentlemen. It hasn't been Arcane Smash for a very long time, as now Faker is looking to try and get that kill back. Oh, Raptor gets the level up! And he's able to stay...
Atlas, this is a bit of a strong start here with the Prio in these lanes. The Ryze is winning too.
Oh, okay. There's the ulti from Vikla. Finds Faker here, and that's a solo bolo for Vikla! And he walks his way out. And in the meantime... the smite is going to go over to Owner. He does finally find level 6 as Twisted advances onto a clone. But BNK, man, they took that last game personally.
With that swap of the Ryze into the top lane. And for Vikla as a player, it's always the aggressive picks you're excited about, right? It's the Yones, the Akalis, the Aris, right? He got the flash to get the egg earlier, and now he knows no egg.
Yep, and he already called it as well. Gets the knock-up, gets that perfect setup, and just knows. As meanwhile, we've got Clear in a bit of trouble here towards the top side of the map. Flashed, but that is not going to get him out of dodge. As now, the return on the bottom side, as there is the Nature's Grasp. The encore comes through, good flash from Pays, goes right over the top, but the beat has been dropped. Still, Pays survives with 100 health. The arrow going to connect the splash damage. Not enough, and Carrier blocks the volley. And the curtains are now getting called. Flash out there from Diablo as Raptor gets the interrupt. And Diablo, can you actually get any of the kills here as BNK looks to try and turn this around? If at first you don't succeed, try again. And there are no teleports to try and get under here. There's the high note, and that's the double kill for Kellen.
Raptor doesn't pick up aggro, he doesn't touch him, and he gets away. And more than the kills going over the
turret
Seraph.
shot, they got the reset, so it's not doing that massive amount of ramp damage. As now Clear and Doran continuing to fight. Slicing Maelstrom comes in here as Clear looking to escape and is going to be able to do so with that Realm Warp. As Doran still looks for it, it just finds the solo! Oh, that was a mistake there from the Rise. Meanwhile, we've got another team fight happening as the Nature is grasping one more time. And Vikla, just barely out of range. Vikla does take a lot.
They need to make something happen here because they're going to lose their bottom turrets. They need a cross map. There's the TP from Carrier. They are going to go for the dive.
Yeah, well, Clear doesn't have any minions to worry about, but the curtains have been called, and the rest of T1 are here. Let's see whether the DDR is going to work.
Arrow coming.
As the slow comes on through, yes, the arrow is going to ascend. That does connect onto Carrier. Fair bit of damage back, but Pays is still able to lock that one down. And yeah, that is just a little bit of an overloading of the top side of the map there for T1. And Diablo, in the meantime, just takes that first turret off the map. 3 daggers, he's full build. My goodness. Kraken Slayer done though, that's obviously the main thing. So this Ashe is very frightening. Ulti comes through here from Vikla, looking to try and grab another egg out of Faker. Gets the knock up from the Q as Raptor's moving over, not in range of the Twisted Advance. But the Kitty Cat gets a little bit angry.
This is not a comfortable position for Faker, despite having his passive.
As well as it's Ocean and Chemtech, our first two. As out goes Vikla. Doran is pretty scary. Slicing Maelstrom comes through, but the rest of BNK are making their way over. That's a solo. And so BNK,
I'm not really doing anything skillful. I'm killing them. And Doran's just the punish guy today, as we're going to see a fight.
Yeah, they're going to look for the angle here as the Encore does come on down. That is going to interrupt the engage, but Owner is already dead. Diablo gets so much of his health back with that surround sound, and a huge shield from his barrier as well. That's Clear locking down the kill onto Carrier. The flash from Faker really wanting to take down Diablo. But the Ashe is looking to try and kite. The beat drops, and he's down to the egg once again. Diablo stands strong, and BNK find another team fight.
Find you a support who watches Diablo like Kellen does.
Absolutely.
Hey, this guy has Echoes of Helia online here, and he's going to pick up a bunch of extra gold. Diablo even picks up the kill.
Oh, man, look at his health bar. Goes down to 200, then gets the barrier and the surround sound from this Seraphine.
I didn't even quite realize that he just barely got over the wall as well. He knows the range. He's begging, asking for help for Kellen. Kellen does help. I want to watch Kellen's first-person view on this one as well. But man,
Souter turret in a bit of trouble as he procs the Q, and Diablo should be able to grab it. There it is.
I think we don't have a lot of game on our hands in this one.
Yeah, the game has drifted over to the other side as now Vikla is trying to get a little bit back here as Doran, another ulti comes on through. This time, Vikla out of range as he rebinds, but Owner is going to move on over. Let's see whether Vikla can at least kill the minion wave before he does go down.
BNK, I think it's Doran's birthday.
Yeah, I think so. That is going to be Vikla going down.
Doran's like, what are they doing? I'm getting confused.
I mean, still so incredibly powerful. BNK utilizing their 4,000 gold advantage in order to make sure that they pick that one up. Man, this is just a ridiculous gold advantage. And BNK's composition just in general looks great. Beautiful little tiara picked up here by Kellen as well. 2 items on the double kill Seraphine. There's a knock-up onto Doran. Flash Twisted Advance comes on through as the Nature is grasping one more time. Ulti comes down, but Doran is able to buy a little bit of space. Still, the Kitty Cat comes down, and Vikla is able to lock that one up. There was also an arrow in the air, and so the cannon gets where he's going to go as the teleport into the backline is going to come on through. BNK do manage to get here, but T1 have this Baron so incredibly low. Arrow going to connect. There is the Encore. That's the Baron secured, but can they keep themselves alive as the Nature's Grasp comes down, and Owner is going to be the first one to die. Clear has now found Doran, and Doran's just going to die. A solo kill for the Rise, who has felt like an afterthought this game. 2 dead in trade for the Baron. We've seen that not work out for the Baron up team, and especially when B&K have so much control over these lanes.
Yeah, and now there's no jungler to punish the push here for B&K. They're going to have to hope their Baron buff minions can defend here. This turret is not long for this world, as they don't have the wave anymore, so it will take a little bit longer, I suppose, as that top turret is also just going to go down to B&K as this Baron buff withers away. I think it was a good call from T1, and they had Doran on the flank to try to mitigate any sort of team fight.
Raptor looking to engage Cone his way in as Carrier in a bit of trouble, has to flash to get himself out of the way. Faker slowed down by the volley as Diablo's in the front line. Does get hit by that crit, but it is going to be Raptor now that's in a little bit of trouble. Look at that health bar though, it's gigantic, and in goes Vikla finding the ulti angle, and they just eviscerate Carrier and get themselves out.
And Clear isn't even here. He is going to show up here on the flank now, but they're essentially doing this fight without him. And now Owner thinks he can get his buff.
And maybe Dagon was right this whole time. Maybe Raptor is just the greatest jungler ever. As Vikla is down very, very low. There's a slicing Maelstrom, but there's no follow-up onto Doran. And now the curtains are being called. Faker in a bit of trouble as Clear does have his Seraphs, and so the shield is going to help him.
And so we don't misquote Dagon. Dagon said he was top 3. If he wins this series, you know, he will be.
I was being a little facetious, you know, as now Faker is going to look for Diablo. He has the barrier, and down he goes to the egg. Pays is dead as well as the Q snipes him down. And there goes the Anivia. Carrier cannot do anything. He's dead. It's a double for Diablo. And B&K, I think, are just going to march down this bottom lane and look to put an end to game number 3.
This was a very, very creative draft that I wasn't sure if we could trust, because it's just kind of unexplored territory, but they made it look absolutely broken. The coordination was great.
And with the Red Bull Baron power play, it looks like T1 is sponsoring Red Bull after all of that money, as finally Raptor does go down. This inhibitor turret is going to go as well. A 5,000 negative Red Bull Baron power play. That is a large one, as now Vikla could be getting flanked. Carrier looking to make his way in, but Doran, I don't think he's going to be able to get the follow-up. As let's just see. Yeah, he's just going to take a merry jaunt to get himself out. The ulti is going to be used. And of course, B&K, they can give away as many dragons as they would like, because of course they've taken the first 3 all for themselves. Vikla looking for a few Qs, does miss most of them. Good footwork there from Faker.
Faker's like, oh, thank God it's over. And then, well, I thought we were going to see the arrow over the wall.
How many teams have come back from a 14,000 gold lead this season in the LCK Cup?
Just one team, actually.
Which team was that?
It was T1.
Aha!
Not to be confused with SK Telecom, of course, the previous team.
That was the previous team.
It was under the T1 banner after the rebranding.
Got it. Okay, team. Good. And speaking of gold lead, Owner actually does have one as well, which is kind of crazy. Arrow going to catch Carrier in the middle of his grand exit, and Diablo just walks him down. Is it going to be enough, though, as they look for the curtain call, and Diablo just stands behind the tanky boys. The Wukong aren't able to do anything, and B&K just wipe out 2 already. Now Faker, Pays, and Doran, can they hold on to the base? That is the question. Slicing Maelstrom is there, and it's going to need to be massive. Clear takes matters into his own hands. There's the ulti from Vikla, and they just take down the cannon before Doran can do anything at all. And Clear is just tanking up. Nexus turrets doesn't seem to care too much at all, as Diablo is peppering these ones down. Faker is discovered. The flash twisted advance there from Raptor is good, as Carrier has respawned already, gets a nice double knockup. But where is the damage? It is just absent here on T1. B&K's lead too large, and they will take down both Nexus turrets and the Nexus and look for match point. One more win from this team as Diablo goes complete beast mode in the enemy fountain. The Nexus is destroyed, and it's match point for B&K.
B&K might just do it. I'm just gonna go kill Carrier.
And he did the whole thing blind as well, Wolf. Did you see that? He only had hair in his eyes.
It's crazy.
He can't even see his monitor. And a little bit buffed on this patch as well. And so just a few extra numbers here and there. So the Trundle feeling all right, and you can also just strip the resistances of the Malphite. He ults his way in and gets subjugated and dies. Is kind of what it's going to look like. However, the Wombo is going to be the problem, right? Carrier and Owner, if they're working together effectively, which is how they've won a lot of world championships in a row, that is going to be the aim of the game. Plus, there's a counter-strike layered on top.
That's a statement from Doran right there. You know, Keen was the only one who's really said, I like the Jacksons in our matchup, but most people have considered this Gnar to be a strong counter pick. And Doran is essentially saying, I can handle that because it will be worth it to have another threat. We saw already with Rich pulling this off with the Malphite ultimate to set it up. Counter-Strike plus Malphite ult onto multiple people could be massive. But in this draft, you really only need to hit the Lucian. That's the main target. That is the main goal here. And T1 have all of the tools to kill Diablo that you could ever ask for.
We'll see whether B&K can still do it, even with much more even footing in the draft. Let's get into it.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, we didn't have the shriek in the fan chants for B&K this time around. We'll just have to see whether they lose because that wasn't there, or whether it is not actually a fact.
Because Diablo has both sums, and it's a 3v3 now here in the jungle.
Rock. Yes, see? Told you he wanted to eat the Rock's pace.
Yeah.
He just gets flashed on because his flash was down.
That was not
Diablo's
a favorable
looking
trade.
for another one, but it's going to let Carrier live for the moment.
That is not Guma's spot, but he is absolutely having the series of his life, and they're drafting for him too in this one. Like, you know, this is B&K saying, we trust this guy, he's young, he's not that experienced just yet, hasn't played too many big best of fives like this. But we know
still
that
here. And so B&K, they will get some advanced warning of the Rock moving over. Kellen spots him. There is the flash, but they catch the dash. There's the hook from Carrier. And Diablo, he survives for a long time, but will be taken out. There's the T1 answer.
Yeah, no flash for Diablo after the previous play. And a bit of a caster curse.
Twisted Fate moving towards his Rod of Ages as soon as he can. Faker is doing a lot of work, though, as we can see here. He may have actually just lost a cannon as Diablo, he's angry. Going to throw out that culling, gives Carrier a bit of a back massage.
Pretty difficult to dive here.
Overgrowth going to be taken down. Here's the gate to come on through as Vikla right underneath the turret will get knocked up as Pays is going to be the target, but he takes a long time to kill. Raptor just tanks it up, and he will be A-OK. Wildcard's not enough to take down Carrier, and the Rock is moving in. Faker there as well. Walks over control vision as Diablo is still trying to get more kills. As Faker goes between worlds, but immediately he's CC'd. Carrier gets the Titan's Wrath as there's the ulti from Ona, but the flash out from Diablo's fantastic. Still, he's going to go down, and down goes the Troll as well. T1, they are looking for some silver scrapes, and if they keep playing like this, they may find him.
Yeah, still, though, I mean, it's not that bad for B&K. At the end of the day, they end up getting the kill onto Pays. And, I mean, Vikla for this Yunara becomes a bigger threat later on. You know, Cull is running here for Pays.
Oh, Vikla goes back and completes some items here at the same time. Faker looks to try and grab that plate, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so as Diablo's dashing in. Hook is not going to connect there as the fire kick comes down. Has to invest the ultimate, does Carrier, as the Drake is going to be taken here. Now Ona is looking to try and pick up the kill on to clear. That Meganar is coming through though, and he elects, oh, he didn't even have the ulti, so never mind. Ona wasn't able to get too much of a follow-up, and there is a big difference between a Malphite ganking without ult and a Malphite ganking with ult.
Yes, and also there's a pretty big difference in the impact that his ultimate, when he didn't secure the kill, made, and this gank here on the bottom side securing more plates for this accelerated lore, and they're going to try to kill Doran and take this turret off the map. Pays cannot impact this at all.
Yep, Nara is just going to be thrown out for fun there from Clear, and I don't think Doran is going to be able to do much of anything at all. There's the culling. That's going to take him down, and now they're looking for the turret here as well. That'll be first turret blood if they're able to get there, and you can see Pays is so far away from that bottom outer. And when you group up to take turrets on this patch, it's actually better than what it was previously.
Absolutely. And there is a smiling CV Max somewhere because we haven't used this term in a while, but it's starting to feel like Funelution in this one as they send him to the top lane. He picks up another kill. By default, Diablo can flash it and kill him, or sometimes just get hit by the ultimate and then shoot him and kill him as well.
Oh no. There's the house,
Baker.
And the Nara's going to hit this time around. I think Clear could have done that by himself, as now Pays taking so much damage here from Diablo, who's got a Kraken Slayer, now building towards his Essence Reaver. This Lucian is getting very frightening as the fire kicks are coming on through. Pays going to get interrupted as Raptor comes on over to clear out vision. And B&K, they just stayed right on this front foot, and it looks like they are never stepping back. T1, speaking of which, they're going to have to.
They can't do anything here. I mean, at least they're getting the cross on the Jax on the top side, but it's being matched by Nar bottom side, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 in turrets. They already got the top side turret with the roam up from Diablo. And so this is a big trade up again for B&K. The macro really good off of just a pick onto that Aurora. Faker's Aurora now 1 and 2 in this game. massively far behind because of the but it's backed up by phenomenal performances across the board.
I think the way they played out this game as well, with the Trundle into Malphite and the fact that Raptor immediately starts counter jungle against Doran, dives on top of Vikla, and now this pillar is being very annoying. Raptor turns up at perfect time. Good leap strike to get Doran out of there, but he does have to invest it. Ulti now on cooldown as well.
And BNK are like, yeah, Dragon's up. Don't care about that. It's Ocean Dragon. I already got the 2 real ones. I'm going to drop my Herald on your top inner and maybe even going to crash on your inhibitor turret.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be a charge onto the inhib. As now Raptor is just walking back down towards this Dragon as well. And Ona, he can't start that one up. Doran is down here, just trying to mop up the mess in the top lane. As Raptor moves in, Keria is there with Pays, but the hook is going to go wide. Fire kick comes on through as well, but it is Raptor taking a lot of damage. Now the subjugate comes on through and they turn onto Vikla. He goes between worlds, getting comboed down and will be taken out. It takes a while, but he eventually does go down as now Doran gets into the mix. Raptor looking a little worse for wear, but stays alive for the moment, and now the pillar is in. There's the counter strike. They land on top of Kellen, but he is not the primary target, and Clear getting into that backline. Down goes Pays, and without the Inara, there is so much damage missing, and now it's Diablo's turn as he flashes out of the counter-strike, and Faker is going to get mopped up as well. It should be a triple as he dashes off to Faker to pick it up.
And I think BNK
cannot be stopped.
I think they might have just punched their ticket, Atlas. Unreal. He's performing well on it. Same with his Renekton that we saw even in the loss, where he had an insane performance there. T1 just cannot even get in their jungle now.
All right, the Destiny comes on through, the gate comes out. That's the unstoppable force used defensively as Faker gets a house thrown at him. I think it's a drill here, space drill. As now Diablo looking for an angle as Keria taking so much damage. The exhaust onto Doran means that there's no re-engage. But BNK, I think just testing the waters, seeing whether any cracks show up. And T1 are going to be forced to back away. Crystalline Overgrowth goes pop, and BNK look to try and take down this inner turret as well. Once again, we have bounties on the map. And we were talking about backs against the wall. T1 are in the wall now.
They're looking like
that Lich Bane, they do really hurt. And Diablo, he's got 3 done, so they're looking for this. There is the engage from Ona, though. They're looking to try and get on top of Diablo, but with Kellen, he survives for such a long time, but finally, he's taken down the flash from Raptor, though. No 80 carries left on the Rift, but Vikla is in melee range with Ona and Doran, and it's now Doran's turn to go insane. Still, he's able to get himself out of there. A 1-for-1 as both of the ADs are just gone.
Yeah, this was the best possible scenario for T1 in terms of the engage. Unfortunately, Pays was taken out by a quick, snappy reaction there by BNK, and now challenging for this Dragon is just not realistic, I think, for T1, as Doran might actually also be in trouble here as Clear gets his Narbar. House won't connect, but TP has to be committed, and Raptor is just soloing this. I think this is just Ocean Soul over to BNK.
Yeah, and Ocean Soul actually kind of insane on a Trundle who just likes to have
probably end up getting way more than that. Clear was not even here, by the way, for the initial part of this fight.
Yep, and now Keria is dealing with a culling, and that is a back massage that he does not like to see. Another unstoppable force comes down, but where's the follow-up? Faker does find it here, and Diablo is going to get taken out. Doran now going to dive in on top of Raptor, who's looking so difficult to kill, especially with Kellen alongside the flash from Clear, but he doesn't find the Gnar angle, and now a gold card comes in. They're looking to try and stop Doran, and there is the Gnar finally, but it's just not going to do enough, as Kellen cannot keep all of his carries alive, especially with Diablo on the floor. Still, Clear is there. He hits Mini Gnar. He's like, I'm the AD carry now, and I guess he is.
The wallets are so heavy. Turn as T1 rush over. Heavy lifting here from Clear as SERIE procs here in the end of this fight. So you can see T1 watch on. No flash for Owner. He has his
ult. All right, Clear's going in. There's the gate. It's now Pays. Oh, he's too far forward. Clear looking for the angle. Look at that Narbar. Still, he has to get ulted by Owner to make sure that they have the peel. And Owner might be a hero. He has saved his AD carry, but he has to sacrifice himself. That means the jungle is dead, and the Baron should go over to BNK.
Yeah, this was a desperate situation for T1, no matter which way you look at it. They wanted to get in there, look for some sort of engage with BNK.
And like, this is the same roster. Like, it's absolutely absurd. As, yep, the library continues here. As Doran, he's going to get pillared momentarily. Vikla looks to try and find a gold card, but Doran gets himself out of there. He's going to be okay for the moment. Problem is, does not really change the state of this game. This large minion wave. What the heck was that damage?
Pretty unreal.
That's a Lichbane proc with some crystalline overgrowth, I guess. As that tower just dies.
There's no TP for Faker. There's no TP for Doran. There's only one ward they could use to try to flank anyways. They just have to wait this out, but it's 2 more minutes. This should be the beginning of the end, barring a huge mistake. Some miracle flash ult from Owner onto Diablo with follow-up. They're just going to play it slow. They're going to play it safe, and T1 fans pray they make that error.
This is crazy, though, as Carrier, he goes in, he gets pillared. There's another Destiny to come forward as Carrier looking very worse for where Vikla decides not to gate just yet, finally pulls the trigger as the gold card connects onto Faker. Now Clear finds him with the Gnar. He tries to go between worlds, but unfortunately, he goes to the world that nobody wants to go to with the gray screen. His owner, he's going to get turned on as well and eaten by a Raptor. Is this just the end of the game? Is this just the end of the series? Has B&K done it? It was only 3 best of 5s between these organizations, and B&K are going to even that scoreline as there's the flash onto the fountain, obviously, there from Diablo and B&K FEARX. They will be going to Hong Kong, and they are going up against Gen G for that first seed position.
What a team performance. I hope we get to see a smattering of votes across the rift between Diablo's insane hands, his carry mechanical outplays, the protection from Kellen, Clear's glow up. B&K fans cannot believe it. We mentioned it earlier. Raptor, a god of the jungle.